Time now for business, which means it's time to say hello to Matthew Warren. Good morning to you, Matthew. We're starting off with Francois Hollande, 1 year in office for the poor old French president. Things not going so well on a number of fronts, not least the economy.
That's right, and in particular, it's unemployment that's a real headache for him. He made a big campaign theme, really, of getting unemployment to go down again, but instead it's been rising since he came to office. It's now up at just over 3.2 million out of work. Those were the March 2013 figures, which is a new record, and it's been rising by about 11% since he came to office. And it's really growth that's the main issue. There was no growth last year, and it's likely to be flat or even worse this year. That's according to the EU anyway, which is forecasting that slight contraction there. Next year, so far they're saying it should get slightly better, but of course growth is needed not just to get the unemployment numbers going down again, but also to help solve this deficit problem. The country needs to be earning money in order to balance the books, and well, France has already said it's not going to hit this 3% deficit target this year. Far from it, more likely to be 3.9%, and in fact the European Commission is saying it will go even higher next year. And it was on Friday that they said that France can now have an extra 2 years to reach that 3% target. But there is one bright spot for the French president, though, and that's in terms of borrowing costs. This yield that we look at on the 10-year bond, the cost for France of borrowing money on the markets, that has in fact been falling since he came to office. So investors clearly still see France as something of a sure thing when it comes to knowing that they're going to get their money back.
Kept them out of trouble for quite a long time, hasn't it, that fact? Okay, the First Lady doing her bit, however, to cut costs.
Yes, it seems like Valerie Trierweiler, who is the partner of Francois Hollande, has been keeping a good budget, it seems, when it comes to running her office. There was a question from a parliamentarian in Nicolas Sarkozy's UMP party. He wanted to know how much it cost to run her office, presumably to score a few political points, but it went wrong, really, because it showed that her cost is about 20,000 euros a month. That's quite a lot. But then it was also revealed that the cost of her predecessor, Carla Bruni-Sarkozy, was in fact 3 times that amount. So she's obviously been doing a bit of saving there at home.
Well, he's going to save a few euros on that, but more is going to be needed. France may be looking at selling off some of the family silver.
That's right. France, of course, owns big chunks of many companies. This could be a good way for them to raise some money. The Prime Minister talked about this in a television interview on Sunday evening. Jean-Marc Ayrault there was giving that interview on a TV channel. Well, cutting those big holdings clearly on the agenda now, as Luc Schwego reports.
Is the French government selling off the family silver? In part, that seems what Prime Minister Jean-Marc Ayrault has in mind.
We foresee that in a certain number of public companies where the state is a major shareholder, we could sell part of that stake to fund investment, but not just to plug holes in the budget.
In fact, the French government's already sold off a small percentage of its stake in aeronautical groups Safran and EDS in recent weeks, netting it nearly €1 billion. The state still has a lot invested in French companies, however, notably in energy firms EDF and Areva. Indeed, all of its investment runs to more than €60 billion in total. Industry Minister Arnaud Montebourg suggested last month what the next step might be, selling off a part of the government's stake in EDF and GDF Suez as well. Though playing his cards close to his chest, Ayrault did give one example of a potential investment project, funding high-speed internet across the country, something that would cost €20 billion.
One of the companies we saw there was France Telecom, and that prompted a big row last week over a video sharing website.
Yes, that's right. Government has a 27% stake in France Telecom, and then France Telecom in turn owns this site DailyMotion. It's like a French version of YouTube, exactly. Now, America's Yahoo had been interested in buying a 75% stake, but that was blocked by the Industry Minister Arnaud Montebourg, who we saw in that report there. It caused a lot of disquiet in the business community, and also even within the government. Doesn't seem that they were all on the same page necessarily on that, but perhaps it could be good news for some other potential bidders. The French website One Square reporting 2 companies are interested now in having a stake. One of those is the big French media group Vivendi. The other one is Le Monde Libre, which is the investment arm of Le Monde newspaper. So we'll keep an eye on see what happens on that.
Talking about YouTube there, they could be about to start charging for some of their content.
Yes, that's right. A number of reports saying that they are looking to moving from just being completely free as they are now, with lots of users uploading their content, to actually charging for some of the more professionally produced content. This not confirmed yet, but if it goes ahead, apparently 50 channels are in the frame with a subscription fee from about $1.99 a month. And it's all part of YouTube's strategy of moving away from just all of that user-generated stuff to more professionally produced films and TVs as well, a bit like Netflix, which has been pretty successful with that model.
Okay, Matthew, let's take a quick look at the markets.
Yeah, let's take a look at Asia and see what's happening there. Most of those markets doing pretty well so far this Monday, as you can see there. Just the Kospi currently levelling out a bit. The Nikkei in Japan, nothing for them because it's closed for a public holiday this Monday.
Okay, South Africa next, and a row over Nelson Mandela's name.
That's right. Nelson Mandela's reputation, of course, has made his name very valuable. A marketing tool, amongst other things, but where there's money, there's often conflict, and now family members and board members are in a bit of a spat, as William Hildebrand reports.
Nelson Mandela's a global icon and a global brand. His recognizable face adorns cheap souvenirs and even an upscale range of wines launched by a daughter and granddaughter of the former president. Sold for up to 33 euros a bottle, it's aimed at tourists and the Chinese market.
My grandfather gave us a great gift, and we feel honor-bound to maintain, his legacy. We think that the wine project is a great project. It's an honorable project. And, we were not ashamed to use our name in any way. We fully embrace what we've been given.
A name that for so many symbolizes peace, though has already sparked a feud. Mandela's longtime lawyer and friend George Bezos says he's been targeted by two relatives of the former president. They say he's forced his way onto the boards of companies. He says they want him out of the way.
They want control of large sums of money for themselves.
The brand is protected by copyright, though some have criticized the Nelson Mandela Foundation for failing to enforce it and say it's unfair the Nobel Peace Prize winner's name is associated with power struggles and legal battles.
Okay, let's finish off with more food and drink, from South African wine to Italian ice cream.
That's right. Italian ice cream, a serious business, just as wine is serious in South Africa. It's actually worth about 3.8 billion euros, the industry. Employs around 160,000 people. Yeah, they do like their ice cream. They're not the biggest eaters in the world. The Americans actually have the biggest love of ice cream. But around 60% of the production of ice cream in Italy is known as artisanal, meaning it's, small independent producers. And 16 of those producers have gathered in Rome for the Best Gelato title, and it's a very serious competition because the top three will go on to represent Italy in what's known as the Ice Cream Olympics, which will be held in September next year. Well, this competition, not surprisingly, was very good news for passing tourists.
I mean, it's the best kind of dessert. It's the best food. Everybody likes it. I mean, it's creamy, it's sweet, it's delicious. These guys are doing an amazing job putting innovative new flavors in it and stuff. It's amazing.
Does look good. Perhaps still a little bit early in the day, however, Matthew. Thanks very much for that roundup of the business. Do stay with us here on Live from Paris. Stuart will be back with the news very soon.